What is up, everybody? We are back with some more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and we've got another episode, or how you want to look at it, of should you pull on the new Red 13 Limit Break Draw banner. If you guys are new to the channel and you do like what you see, hit the subscribe button and follow along with what we do here. Jeez. Hit that like button, comment down below, and let's get started. Again, I always like to remind everybody that these are designed more for people who you're not the whales, you don't have that necessarily, this is not necessarily your favorite character, you're looking for how to spend your crystals more wisely, and hopefully make your team a little bit more effective with what draws can be pulled. I mean, if Red 13's your favorite character, guys, and you've got enough crystals to get yourself to that 12th stamp, and you have to have everything for Red 13, then by all means go for the banner. The game's about having fun. Okay, go for your favorite characters and all that. This is more for, like I said, you're trying to figure out a little bit more, maybe like a meta idea for things. So, first things first, let's take a look at the actual outfit itself. I think the outfit looks awesome. One thing that sucks, I gotta hide the UI here to kind of really get a good look at it. He looks good. This looks like a natural thing for him. He does not look out of place in this. Some of the costumes we get, sometimes the character really doesn't look like this is something that they would wear. This looks like something that Red would wear. His little pirate hat, we got the anchor up top, we got his earrings here, we've got the red beads on his mane here, we got the eye patch, got the crossed daggers on the crossed swords on the arm there. On both sides. No, it's a skull on the other side, sorry. But it actually kind of looks like a Red 13 skull, like a dog or canine type skull. We do have two daggers on each side, which, I mean, kind of interesting choice, I guess. We got these leather bracers on the back here. We got this red tail wrap going on with these little pieces hanging off. We got this gold wrap around him. Like, overall, it looks really, really good. I mean, you can kind of barely see his collar, but again, it doesn't look bad. And on the collar, you've got this little anchor. The costume itself looks absolutely awesome. I think they did a really good job designing this. Like I said, it really does fit the look of Red 13 really, really well. I think the only thing I would change, and only because of the red on everything else, you got the red around the arms, you've got the red sash, the red on the tail, I would change the feather to red. The red beads. The blue's out of place here because it's not the same blue as the rest of the outfit. So I would have made the feather red. I think that would have looked so much better, just make the feather red. Outside of that, costume looks amazing. Great job there. So let's look at the stats of it. Pirate Navigator offers Reprieve. Reprieve is an awesome R ability. Solid to have on anybody because, again, it gives them survivability. Survivability, it gets you through that one hit. Maybe it's that sigil break phase, or that big ultimate spell or something. It allows you to survive through at least that one. All right, and it gets you through to the next thing. And maybe that one's all you need to get you through clearing that content. We have Sailor's Vision. Grants physical and magic defense plus 20%. Again, more survivability. Red 13 is a healer, at least according to his character synergy, which, again, I see it more support, but they wanted a healer in that role, so they gave it to him. Even though this does start to lean in more towards support when you look at what happens here. When granting magic attack up, max potency tier +1. It only affects the max tier. So again, if you are going something that has low to mid, you get low on your first turn. Mid, what would have been mid on your second turn is now going to go to high. So it makes it low to high. So that really helps with stuff like that. And again, it's only, again, for magic attack up. We've seen other things like this with physical defense up, and I think even magic defense up, or maybe it was physical attack up. But it's solid. It really helps a magic-based team, which with our guild battle right now is magic-based. So you can, obviously, this is designed for that. So let's look on the collar itself, the pirate collar. So it's going to offer magic attack to all allies, buff debuff extension, magic attack boost, heal boost, all Asuna. And again, these are all just level 1, which makes me think that for the 2nd year anniversary, we're going to see a lot more 2s. We're going to start seeing those. I mean, the only time we've seen a 2 so far is with Lucia's last Limit Break banner we got, where her weapon had a Triangle Sigil 2. So I'm assuming we're going to start seeing that in the 2nd anniversary. We'll see. I think we're there. I think it's time for that. All right, so if you get this thing at base 5-star, what is it doing? Again, I'm going to ignore the R abilities for a second because I wish they would bring back where we could see just a 5-star version of this completely maxed out. That's one thing I wish they would do. But anyway, so it's going to do a magic heal, 42% to all allies, magic attack increased low to low. I really wish this was low to mid. So if you were completely unlucky and you only got 1 copy of this, which I think the stamp card guarantees you 2 by the time you hit the costume. It does. So you'd at least have OB1 by the time you hit the costume, but let's assume for somehow, for some reason you wouldn't, you could only get 1 copy, or just the 1, you could at least get to mid with the costume. It'd be low on the first cast, mid on the second cast. But we'll see what happens at OB1. And then when your HP is 70% or more, you're going to increase the lightning damage of all allies low to low. And when your HP is 40% or less, ATB gauge, excluding yourself, for your allies, gets a +1. It's good stuff. Like I said, I wish these were low to mid. Especially for a limit break weapon. These really should be low to mid. Okay, so you get up to OB1. We've now gone up to a 50% healing potency to all allies. Magic attack stays low to low, really. And it's only 20 seconds. In theory, you wouldn't be constantly casting this because you probably have Red 13 also doing your lightning resist down. So he's going to need to split back and forth between these two. I don't like that. HP 70% or more, lightning damage is still increased only low to low. That really should be low to mid. And then when HP is 50%, so that's gone up a little bit. We went from 40% to 50%. When it's 50% or less, now everybody gets that 1 ATB gauge. It offers boost magic attack to all allies at 32. I probably would main hand this, just for the boost of magic attack versus like if I was main handing his Seaside Collar. I'd probably main hand this over that one, just to give us a bigger boost here, but you're only going to get 18% out of that. We're just really close to that 22% breakpoint though, only 3 points away. Buff debuff extension, 18 points, so your buffs are going to last 80% longer, so that is going to help here when it was only the 20 seconds. That's going to help that a little bit. And again, magic attack boost, heal boost, Asuna boost, so it's awesome that it's doing this cure, and then you could throw in an Asuna down here of something, cure darkness, poison, fatigue, fog, to help out with that. Alright, you get it up to OB6, we go mid to high, so that's a huge jump. We're going from low to low to mid to high. I don't agree with this. This should be low to low, this should be low to mid. Again, we're talking for a limited weapon here. The 1-star should be low to mid, and then mid to high. I would agree with that. I'm wondering if it's going to go high to high at 10. I kind of hope not with a limited weapon, but we'll see. 54% to all allies. Aim attack is increased mid to high. It's still only 20 seconds. That is not that long. I mean, yes, you do get your buff debuff extension down here as a natural part of this arm or weapon, but when lightning resist or when HP is 70% or more, lightning damage is increased to all allies mid to high. So up here, your aim attack, if you have the armor as well, you're going to go from mid on your first cast to very high on the second cast. But again, it takes 2 casts to get there. It's 20 seconds. You're only getting a 6-second extension off the second cast. I mean, you'd have to just be almost casting this non-stop. I don't like that. And then again, your HP has to be 70% or more to do that lightning damage increase to all allies mid to high. So again, 2 casts to get to high. HP is 70% or less plus 1 ATP gauge, so again, we're up to 70%. So you're at this weird spot where you can never apply both of these so far. Your casting would never hit both of those at even at OB6. Boost Im attack to all allies, 40 points, so plus 22%. You're pretty close to the 25%. Buff debuff extension of 30, so you're not 120%. 150, you're just 5 points away from that 150%. And if you do take it up to OB10, what happens? 59% healing to all allies, which is fine. Im attack is mid to high, that does not change. It only goes to 25 seconds though. Again, with the cost, you need to be going from mid to very high. HP is 70% or more. That threshold has not changed. Was it 70 the entire time? It was. Stays mid to high, 25 seconds. But we do have a little bit of overlap here. If you are now HP 90% or less, ATB gauge is +1 for all allies except yourself. So you at least have a 20% buffer here between the two, where you can have both these proccing at the same time. I don't mind that. I like that. Kind of wish it wasn't an OB10 and OB6, but boost magic attack is all allies is at 46 points. You're at plus 25%. I mean, you're 9 points away from getting to that level 7. You're getting diminishing returns at that point because you're either putting on a really weak weapon to give you that 9 points because it only needs 18 here because you're going to get half. Which means if you're doing like a level 1 or just a regular weapon, the stats are going to be low, and then to just get anything where you have an OB10 weapon with this, I mean, you're not getting the full benefit of what's there. So really, you're probably going to stop here, so you're just going to be stuck at this level 6. So 25%. Your buff debuff is at 42, so you're at 150%. That didn't change, did it? Yes, it did. Okay, yeah. You're at 150%. And fairly close to 180, but again, I don't know, is it really worth putting more into that? I would probably just stick with boosting your own magic attack, and then he's just gonna go full support if you do that, though. Well, it's a decent weapon, it's a decent armor, but is it worth pulling this close to the 2-year anniversary? You know, I really don't think so. I think if I had unlimited funds, I would pull on this, sure. I mean, let's be honest, if we all had unlimited funds, we'd probably just pull on everything. But if I, you know, if money was not an issue for me, would I pay to pull on this? Yeah. But as a free-to-play player, or somebody, I mean, I think I've maybe spent $20 in this game the entire time it's been released. I don't feel like this is worth pulling on. The other problem is the ultimate weapon on this banner is Lucia's. Now, if it were Red's, I think it would make it better to potentially draw on. Something else that I really feel like would have made this banner more enticing would have been how they set up the potencies. I feel like, at least at the regular base 5-star, this should have been low to mid for both Im attack and the lightning damage. And maybe even starting at 20 seconds. Going to OB1, this should have been mid to high. I'm fine with the 70%, like, and the percentages I'm fine with. This should have been mid to high, and 25 seconds. Going to OB6 should have been 30 seconds and should have been high to high. At this point, it should have been high to high. And again, percentages I'm fine with. OB10, 30 seconds I think would have been sufficient here. Staying high to high for both. But again, percentages are fine. I don't like where they have the potencies for each one, especially for a limit break banner. These are typically supposed to be a little bit more powerful in the realm of stuff like that, and it does offer a ton of things. I mean, you're getting a heal, you're getting a magic attack increase, you're getting the lightning damage increase, you're also getting the potential of an ATB boost of 1 to all your allies. Not that it's not strong, but when I kind of compare it to some of the other ones we've got, I don't feel like it really is that extra push forward. And as I keep going back to, especially with that second anniversary right around the corner. I mean, we're, what, about 2 weeks, 3 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away from the anniversary. So I can't warrant saying to pull on this. And the other thing I forgot to touch on is it is a 5 ATB cost. This is going to cost you 5 ATB to cast. So you're taking even longer to have to cast this. So when we think about how short the durations are, you know, by the time this fills up to do 5 ATB, you've already lost, I feel like you've lost a lot of your duration. Now, if you were lucky enough to luck into Red's ultimate weapon, I got the wrong thing here. There we go. You know, if you had gotten his limited moon, you know, that exploit weakness would be super helpful. The fact you have this interruption arcanum would be super helpful. You know, and you got a huge magic heal out of it. It would have been, you know, like I said, it makes that weapon so much better because you have even more utility. But without it, and like I said, just having Lucia's in here, which, like I said, being paired up with this, it feels weird. I just don't feel like this is a strong banner at this point. If you got disposable income, or, you know, just well over like 120,000 crystals, you know, I don't see a problem going for this like in like maybe OB6. I think it's a really good spot for this. But if you're anything under, I'd say if you're under 60,000 crystals, especially like myself, it's definitely not worth going for. I don't even find this weapon useful at OB1. You know, sometimes I can even say, you know, just get one copy of it. It's not terrible. You can, you know, work on overboosting it with character tickets and whatnot. But this thing is not really going to be useful until you get to OB6, especially with those HP thresholds. Again, I don't hate the HP thresholds on this. I think they're fair. I just don't feel like it's really useful until you hit that OB6. But again, the 5 ATB cost, it really brings this down for me. If this was just a 4 ATB, I think this is a great weapon. I still think it's a good weapon. I just don't think it's worth pulling unless, like I said, you have disposable income or you're sitting over 120,000 crystals. And then, like I said, even then, I would be trying for OB6. That, you know you're guaranteed OB1. Get the I would get the 12 stamp and then get out. Hopefully, you've got a lot of Red 13 character weapon parts. I don't even know where I'm at with Red 13s. I mean, I've got 392. So if I got the, you know, let's assume I could get an extra 8 weapon parts, just extra sitting around, I would still need to get to OB4. And I'm only guaranteed OB1. By the end of the second stamp card, I could have that OB4. So, I just, it's not strong enough. It's not wow enough to want to dump crystals into with what we could potentially be getting in just a couple weeks. So this is going to be, for me, a pass. And like I said, if you're under 60,000 crystals, I would say this is a pass. For sure. Yeah, it's solid banner, just not enough with what we have potentially coming. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this banner, guys. Let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are on the banner. You know, am I not giving this weapon enough credit? Am I giving it too much credit? Am I crazy for saying not to pull on this thing? Again, just let me know down in the comments what you think. Again, it's great for Guild War, but I don't see it being helpful too much beyond that, honestly. So, thanks for watching, guys. Again, if you're new to the channel and you do like what you see, hit that subscribe button and follow along with what we do here. Hit that like button and comment down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.